Welcome back to ISKCON of Silicon Valley, or welcome if it's your first time. Thank you very much for being here. This is the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So if you came into the wrong room, you can still stay, because as our sign says outside, everyone's welcome. And there's a reason for that. The objective of this movement, which was started 500 years ago by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was to cater to the soul. And if you're a soul, raise your hand. Okay, that's good. You're in the right room. Generally, those who aren't souls don't raise their hand, because a soul means a spark of consciousness. This was something that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught through the ancient Vedic teachings. He quoted verses which describe that the spark of consciousness that animates this body is a part of the supreme consciousness, which is like the fire, an unlimited fire. And as conscious entities, we can become aware of the material world. We can observe it. We can also change our lives, because we're agents for change. Just as the Supreme, we call Krishna, has an unlimited consciousness, we call omniscient. He's omnipotent, which means he can do anything. And he's omnipresent. We also have consciousness, but our consciousness is limited. It's infinitesimal, and it's limited to a smaller field. And in the Bhagavad-gita, Krishna gives a definition of the primary knowledge upon which one can build a strong foundation for a spiritual practice. He says, Kshetragnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetrishu bharata kshetragnayor jnanam yatach jnanam matam mama, which means that there's a field, and that's the body. So check and see if you have a body. Check. Is it there? Yeah, lucky thing too, because it's an instrument like a car. And you can use that to drive around in. And so you drove here today in your car-like body. And then he says, there's, besides the kshetra, or the body, which is this apparatus, it's really complicated or sophisticated robot. And beyond that is called the kshetra gya. Everyone say gya. So that comes from Sanskrit, so this is a quiz to test your IQ. Don't worry, you all score very high. Which word in English is a really strange word? In other words, it's spelled in a way that if somebody wasn't informed of how to pronounce the word, they would never get it. No. Yeah. K-N-O-W. That's right. Okay. Give her a hand for having the highest IQ in the room, because she got it first. So, no and gya. Say gya, and say no. So now you know why no, K-N-O-W, has a strange spelling. It comes from Sanskrit. It comes from the word gyan. Gyan and no are the same words. And so when you say gya, it means to know something, and a kshetra, say, means what? Okay, you got to use this is kshetra. Feel around. It's a really interesting place we live in. You got kneecaps, elbows, eyes, eyelashes. What are those there? A lot of stuff. a lot of extras thrown in when you get one of these, right? We're going to throw in a free pair of eyebrows with every kshetra. So what are we? We're the kshetragya. Everyone say. So what does that mean? Since we explained both words, what does kshetragya mean? That's right, the one who knows the field. So, do you know your field? To some degree, right? It's kind of hard to figure out sometimes what's going on with the body. For instance, I'll bet you haven't thought about your digestion even once today, have you? But it's going on, right? And how about your heartbeat? Did you thank your heart today? Did you swing out of bed in the morning and say, "My dear heart, thank you very much for pumping all night long and keeping me alive in this body"? Did you do that? No. So we're semi-aware of our kshetra. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gita, if somebody is the kshetragya and is aware that I'm not the field, I'm actually the person who's semi-aware of the field, and he says that's knowledge. But there's one more component to it, and that's where we come to Krishna consciousness. He says, if you become aware that there's a super knower, and that super knower is within every kshetra. That is, I don't know what's going on in your kshetra, and you don't know what's going on in mine, but there is a soul who's the super soul. Everyone say super soul. We like super entities, right? Let's name 3 that are popular these days. Ant-Man, okay. Who else? Superman's, okay. Somebody more interesting. Batman. Those are almost cliche now because they've already done several sequels. What's another superhero that's kind of not that well known? Black Panther, okay. I even don't know that one. Okay. There's Ant-Man. Hanuman. Yay. So we like super ants, we like super people, there's all kinds of super animals we can name. People are always looking for the super version of an entity. So in the Bhagavad-gita, all your desires are fulfilled now because you get a super soul. Super soul. So we're souls, right? And then there's a super soul. That's kind of interesting. So Krishna says that super soul is the one who's within everyone's kshetra along with the kshetragya, and that super soul knows all bodies all at the same time. Knows everybody's body. So that about sums it up. And thanks for coming. Have a great day. Any questions? This is a foundational piece of knowledge that I am not my material body, but I'm something different from the body. Now, what if I make a little mistake in my calculation and I say that I am my body, which would make me an American male? Okay? Now, starting from there, I've made a mistake that I'm my material body, and if I build my life based on this identity, then what might happen at a certain point? What could happen if the entirety of my energy was invested in the idea that I'm an American? Okay, let's just start with that I'm an American. What could happen historically? I'm not talking about what might happen, but looking back through history, if you are invested in being a particular nationality, what are some scenarios that might happen that might change that conception? Country could fall apart. Has that ever happened? Yeah? Historically? Somebody comes in and says, now it's our country, and then you have to change and be assimilated. What about if somebody draws a new boundary and then says, now you're a different country. Has that ever happened? Yes. Does anybody know where? Practically everywhere. I mean, America, if you look at when Europeans first started coming here, France owned part of it. Of course, where we're sitting now, I think, was Mexico. And we look at maps in other countries around the world. During America's occupation of Afghanistan, there were lots of maps showing how many hands had changed. So our nationality could change, right? We could be asked to leave. We could be asked to be a new nationality. That could change. What else could happen to my identity as an American male that could be a little disconcerting? More than a little disconcerting, that would completely change that idea that I'm an American male. It starts with a D. You die. You so-called die. So this is something that's also mentioned by Krishna in the Bhagavad-gita. He said, there's a certain class of people that doesn't get alarmed by the fact that you're going to have to change your present kshetra. This kshetra we have now, and I hope I'm not the first one to break it to you, is not something that you get to keep. Sorry, I know it's a family show, but we don't get to keep it. You don't even have a lease agreement for it, do you? Maybe it's out in the car? No. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gita, Dehinosmin yatha dehe koma ran yovanam jara. So what he's describing in this verse is the fact that you get a kshetra, and then the kshetra changes. Over time it changes. How does it change? It changes from a little baby to a youth. Let me see if I get my categories right. And they're all politically correct. So a baby, then what would be the next thing? Toddler, baby, toddler, then what? Huh? Okay, a child. Work with me now. Work with me, people. Come on. Okay, teenage, that's a pretty big jump. Is there something in between there? And what is an adolescent anyway? That's pretty general, but anyway, we'll take it. Adolescent, what happens when you become a tween? And then what happens when you're 20? What are you then? A young adult. And 21? An adult. So now we can see there's lots in our language to describe the kshetra, that's various designations. So how does that happen? I thought a kshetra was a kshetra. No, Krishna's saying, you should notice this, actually. The kshetra is going to change on you. But that doesn't mean that whatever you are is finished. It just means your kshetra is changing. So in the verse I just quoted, Krishna says, Dehino asmin. So the person who lives in the body is different from the kshetra. And he says, that person becomes aware of the fact that the body's changing, but I'm not. And he or she becomes so aware that even when there's this, what we call a final change, when I vacate this present apartment I'm living in, that a person who's developed this spiritual awareness doesn't get disturbed, not disturbed by that change. So this is a foundational part. Oh, look at that. Thank you. It's nice and cool, too. I needed that. Thank you. You don't get these every day. So, Bhagavad-gita teaches us not to miss the point. Try not to miss the point. There were two men working in a field one day, and an observer sitting close by having a sarsaparilla, that's root beer, and observing these two workers working hard in the sun. They were going down a row for a couple hours until the man noticed that one of them had a shovel and was digging the hole. And then the other one was filling the hole back in. And on they went for several hours until the onlooker became curious enough to go over and say, "What are you guys doing?" And they said, "We're doing our job. We're planting trees." I said, "Planting trees?" He said, "Yeah, there's a third guy, but he called in sick today. He's the one who puts the seeds in." They missed the point. The point was to put the seed in, not just to dig the hole or fill it back in again. So the Bhagavad-gita makes this point. Don't miss the point of your life. It's commonsensical. It's not so esoteric. It's just observing what's the essence of who we are and what's most important in life. And so to this end, Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gita, the most important aspect of the body and of the combination of the Kshetra and Kshetragya is ultimately the soul. The soul is eternal, never changes, whereas the body is constantly changing. And when we leave the body, we basically never see it again. It's only a temporary manifestation of earthly elements. So a devotee who often comes up with witticisms said recently that science studies matter, whereas the Bhagavad-gita studies what matters. And there's a difference, because any person who's in physics can tell you that one could study one little square inch of Earth for 25 years and go deeply within the observation, but then not really know what they're looking at or have any more information that's helpful to them. And in many ways that we study the world scientifically, we don't necessarily come out with a solution that helps us because we miss the point. So the Bhagavad-gita is only 700 verses. It's a condensation of all the teachings of a huge body of knowledge called the Vedas, and some have called the Bhagavad-gita the Vedic intelligence, or the essential teachings of the Vedas. Nothing is extra and nothing is left out. So if one can read the Bhagavad-gita and understand its tenets and apply them to some degree in one's life, then one gets great traction in life, as you might imagine. If you understand who you are and what your purpose is, and you're applying yourself to that, to the best of your ability, you're going to feel satisfaction. The Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the next level of study up from the Bhagavad-gita, is called the Spotless Purana, which means it also doesn't have anything that is misleading. It doesn't tell us to embrace the material world, but it shows us how we can live in the material world while embracing our highest purpose in life. And a famous verse from the Bhagavatam says, Dharma swanustita pumsam vishvaksena katasuya notpadaye yadiratim shrama eva hi kevalam, which means no matter what kind of work you have, if that work doesn't bring you to the point, which is to develop knowledge of your spiritual being and the relationship that you have with the supersoul, the supreme being, then that work is called shrama. Everyone say shrama. Shrama means, like it sounds kind of like this. How was your day? Try this when you go home and your significant other or whomever it might be says, how was your day? And let's just say you had a hard day and you felt like you didn't get anywhere. Is that hard to imagine? Okay, good. Then you say, how was your day? And you say, shrama. So how was your day today? Shrama. So we don't want shrama. We don't want to waste even 1 day or 1 hour. We want to work in such a way that we come to the point right away, as soon as possible. As soon as you open your eyes in the morning, you want to come to the point and not miss it. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches that there's a way to live so that you never miss the point. And it doesn't mean that you have to move into a cave. That could be missing the point also. You have to be able to live your life because you have a certain personality, you have relatives, correct me if I'm wrong, you have responsibilities, am I right so far? And you have to attend to those. But there is a way to attend to those and at the same time come to the point, even amidst all your other duties. So that's called Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. Bhakti Yoga says, don't give up your day job for this. Work as you're working. How do I know this? Well, everyone knows it because they read Bhagavad-gita. And Arjuna wanted to give up his day job. He said, I don't like the way things are going, so guess what? I quit. And what did Krishna say? Go ahead and quit? What did he say? Quit or don't quit? No, he said, don't quit. And Arjuna was the same person at the end of the Bhagavad-gita than he is at the beginning. That is, he had the same hairstyle. He had the similar clothes that he was wearing before. He was the same stature physically, but his mind and heart had changed by listening to the 700 verses of the Bhagavad-gita. So this is nothing in practical devotional service. There's no admonition that you have to give up your hairstyle. You don't have to give up your clothing style, not necessary. You don't have to give up where you live or what you drive or the kinds of habits you have, unless they're detrimental. You might want to tune them up a notch. But if you change your consciousness by adhering to the principles that Krishna teaches in the Bhagavad-gita, then you'll be in the same job, you'll be in the same house, you'll be in the same body, but you'll look at the world much differently and in such a way that you naturally feel balanced and productive. And I dare say happy. Now, let's see if you have any questions. Questions are the answer. It's a Socratic method. You ask a question and it forces me to search for an answer. And I guarantee that my answer will be less than 59 seconds. Or we'll give your money back from this class today. Uh-oh, Bali Maharaj. Bali Mardhan Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. I just like to know, you mentioned all we study that matters, but the Gita says what it matters. So how do we really reflect that what it matters? Can you give a few examples from where we invested and how Gita matters from, let's say, chapter 4? Then.
Okay. Keep it simple so I can keep it under a minute. In the Bhagavad-gita, Krishna values sincerity of purpose in trying to understand the truth. In the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita, he said, anyone who sincerely asks, who am I, what's my purpose, and how do I reach God, and keeps asking that question sincerely, will get answers from within, from the supersoul. And he also values honesty. In the 17th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita, he mentions that if you are honest, you don't have to be spiritually strong, but at least if you're honest, admit your weaknesses, and you try to understand God, and you ask the questions, then the answers will naturally be forthcoming. It's the most natural of phenomena that when we're sincere and honest and we ask the question, who am I and who's God, then the answers are forthcoming. 59 seconds. Okay. We're not done yet. A few more questions. You could ask any question that relates to the topics or something that relates to your practice of spiritual life.
Hare Krishna. So as you mentioned the day job for the Arjun, don't quit. So in this world, sometimes you find the day job is like too complex to really perform, and you get really tired of those, right? Because and you need like re-energy to really start with. I think because of the way the world is getting wired or getting complex, so then sometime mind really think about what is the alternative. Like, can I get it like simple lifestyle or not? And when it comes to simple means like other, like, I think in the modern terms it's called like low cost area. Like go where there is, you need a minimum things, or you need a minimum money to really maintain yourself. So when it comes to day job, what level of day job one should really try to maintain? That's my main question.
First of all, you can't move because we need you too much here. So no moving for you. Simplifying life means simplifying our consciousness. If we have a clear idea of our goal, we won't feel overwhelmed by the various options. In the Bhagavad-gita, Krishna says, Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana bahu shaka hyanantashta buddhayo vyavasayinam. And that is, if you're clear on your ultimate purpose in life, even amidst myriad options that present themselves, you'll still feel calm and you'll still feel undisturbed by all of them, because even though you have to attend to many things, you have one purpose in mind. And that's the most important aspect of organizing our lives to be simple, is to know where we're going. If you know where you're going, you can overcome obstacles. Okay, that was it. 60 seconds. Om Tat Sat. Another question? Yes, Ekachakra.
Hare Krishna. There are so many different teachers giving so many different interpretations, even of the Bhagavad-gita. How do we know who to trust?
Fortunately, the Bhagavad-gita is easily read by anyone. Krishna spoke it in very simple language. So read the original Bhagavad-gita. That is, the translations aren't that different in the Gita. And try to understand what Krishna is asking for. And then find the commentary that is most in line with Krishna's teachings. For instance, in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita, Arjuna asks Krishna, what's better, to meditate on nothing, as in avoid, or to meditate on a personal form of God? Or I should say more accurately, the personal form of God. And Krishna answers very simply. He says it's very troublesome to think of nothing. Let's try it for a second. But just a second, because I only have 3 left. You can't do it. So find that teacher who is teaching what the Bhagavad-gita says, and who is applying it in their lives also. Unamas, or ek, moichido. Yes.
Can you hear us through Zoom?
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Thank you. So, in the recent days, I've been reading the Gita, but one thing, like, so being a human, we might sometimes not follow the rules, or we might be committing some mistakes. So how to clear our conscience from the guilt, and what is the best way to come back into the righteous path by clearing of the guilt in the mind?
The question usually is, how do I make advancement from where I am right now? And the answer is applying yourself from where you are right now, which means that do what you can do right now. Don't worry about doing everything, or don't fret about those things that you can't do, but start with what you can do. So in the Bhagavad-gita, Krishna says, Swalpam apyasya dharmasya. if you practice this even a little bit, it'll give you such an advantage that your feeling of guilt and fear in this world will immediately diminish, because doing the right thing feels good. Yes or no? And so Krishna tells what's the right thing, and oftentimes, as you point out, we're off-center. So balance doesn't mean that you're perfectly stable. It means you know what the center is and how to pull back to it. So if you're constantly pulling back to the center, then you'll be in good stead and you'll feel happy. We'll take two more. Yes, 1, 2.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You mentioned the story of the two people who were like opening up the dirt and shoveling, and then the other one was putting the dirt back in and forgetting to plant the seed for the trees. So how do we best see the areas in our lives where we're missing the point so that we can... It's like a blind spot. How do we see a blind spot if we can't see it?
Such an important question. Thank you very much. Krishna consciousness means to see reality. Reality means that everything's connected to an original conscious source. Everything comes from his energy, and everything is part of that original whole. How do we connect? We connect through devotional service. Srila Prabhupada gives the example of a tiny screw. You find a tiny screw on the 101 freeway, getting blown in the wind or more likely pushed along by the tires that run over it. It's not valuable. However, if you find the original machine that it goes in and you just re-adhere the screw, it becomes valuable immediately. So in a similar way, when we see all of the activities we're doing in our life and all the extensions of our life as being connected to the Supreme, then we'll have this feeling of completeness. All forms of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I don't know where this 59-second or 1 minute limit came from.
You can
but
ask
I
my
actually,
wife.
I actually liked when you elaborated on the answers, because it often answered the subsequent questions people may have. So that was that was the question basically. And that.
Ask Nirakula. She told me to give shorter answers. So there it is. Okay, well, yes.
I was appreciating the point of Shrama which you said, and I wanted to tell you how the concept of Shrama or hard work is different in doing it for Krishna versus doing it for one's own material gain.
When we work hard for Krishna, we don't feel tired. And when we don't get the exact result that we were expecting, we also don't become disappointed. Because in working for Krishna, we become energized, which is kind of logical and obvious. And we also get Krishna's support. And because we're working for Krishna, whenever we do our best, we depend on him for the outcome. And that's exactly what he asks us to do in the Bhagavad-gita. He says, you have a right to work. In fact, never give up your duty and never stop working, but just give up the result of your work. And if you do that, then Krishna gives all intelligence, and he also helps us to overcome any kind of sense of depletion when we're working. It's actually very practical. When we work hard for festivals, for instance, on Janmashtami, everyone fasts all day long. No one ever feels tired. At midnight, we feel more energy than we ever had before, and we've been fully engaged, some devotees, for 3 days. Hare Krishna. Okay, one last question. Pardon? Past 59 seconds and waiting for it. Let's try one of the main practices of the process of devotional service. It's something that's joyful and universal. Singing is ubiquitous throughout the history of human society. Singing. Do you know any culture where you're not allowed to sing? If so, don't go there. Rhythm, similarly. Put rhythm in singing. And have you ever noticed that poets and those who represent their particular era by putting together songs and then singing them become revered in society? One person and he's a musician. I've noticed that people flock to hear people sing songs, don't they? Wasn't there an incident recently where the internet crashed? People trying to get tickets? Yeah? It was for a famous musician who sings what's in her heart, in her mind. She has songs that are based on real life experience and so forth. And she's revered all over the world. So when her tickets went on sale recently, the internet crashed. And no one could figure out how to buy tickets because too many people want to. This is common throughout human history. Even when I was growing up, everyone would flock to hear people sing songs that would talk about what's current in life and what the purpose of life is and so forth. And I can start singing these songs for you if you wish. But I won't. Instead, we can sing a song that adheres to the principle I just brought up, and that is there are many songs you can sing. There's many types of work you can do as well. There are many good causes, but there's one great cause. This is called focus. And the Hare Krishna song is a song about our original divine source, who happens to be a person and has a name. Any of you have a name? Raise your hand. Okay. Any of you have a nickname? Raise your hand. Few of you raised your hand because you're afraid I was going to ask you what it is, right? But if somebody knows your nickname, if you're walking downtown San Jose and someone drives by and shouts out your nickname, what is a nickname? Not yours, but what is a nickname? Huh? Bitu. Okay, so you're walking down the street and someone that has those windows that you can't see through, and they roll down just a few and they go, "Hey, Bitu." And that happens to be your nickname. What are you going to do? You'll spin around and go, "Who said that? Who is it?" You'll be up all night thinking, like, who knows my nickname, right? So it's the same principle when singing God's names. We have an inside track. Someone told us what God's nicknames are. So we know. And when we sing them, and God listens. He comes, "Who's singing my name? Why are they singing my name?" And so the beginning process for coming closer to the Supreme and completing one's life by being connected to the Supreme is by knowing the Supreme's name, and especially to know the nickname. The nicknames means some friends or family gave it to him. And in the spiritual world, there's a hierarchy. God is one. He's always the same person, but sometimes he comes dressed for work, like going to the office, carrying a briefcase. That's in Vaikuntha, Narayan, very official, 4 arms, get things done, create worlds. You're the creator, Om Tat Sat. And then there's another world called the Nijadam. That's the highest level of the spiritual world in which God's at home. Everyone's casual there. And they don't have all these official greetings. They just love one another, but they especially love God. And his name there is Krishna. Now that's a secret, so don't tell anybody. So only within these four walls do we allow this. Don't tell anybody else outside that God's name is Krishna. So we're going to stay in here, lock the doors, don't let anybody else in, and we're going to sing together these names. And it comes in a mantra, which is very nice because it's written in a prayerful form. So the Hare Krishna song goes like this, and it's at the top of the slide. Please repeat after every two words. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. This means I'm calling out to the Supreme because one of the names of the Supreme is Hara. Everyone say Hara. Hara, which means the Divine Mother, takes care of everyone. Krishna means the Divine Father. And it also means all attractive, one who has every beautiful quality we're looking for. And Rama, everyone say Rama. Rama means eternal happiness. And it's written in a prayerful form in which we're saying, as many people say, and as I hear, whenever I walk across Washington Park near my house in Burlingame, just after high school's let out, and I see groups of high school students standing talking together, what do I hear most? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And that's what this means. Only we really mean it, and we have an inside track, whereas we're giving the personal name of God. We're not saying it incidentally. We're saying it very purposefully. We're being heartful about it. So we'll try this mantra, and we'll start with just clapping hands, because that proves that you don't need fancy instruments like this. You just need your hands to keep beat and chant the mantra in a singing way. And I'll start off by singing the mantra, and then you repeat back, and then if I point at you, you have to grab the microphone, someone will pass it to you in 2 seconds, and then you sing the mantra, and we'll listen, and then we'll all repeat what you say. Okay? Now first, I'm going to say a couple of mantras of respect to my spiritual teacher and also to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who brought this Hare Krishna mantra and delivered it to us. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarne Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur. Let's do that one again because it wasn't on the screen. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur. Now all sing and please repeat. Does anybody need more air? Let's vote. It's a democracy. How many vote for air? And how many would like us to turn up the heat more and close all the windows? It's all in how you word a survey that you get the answers. So even if we get a little more air, it's okay. Now I'll sing the Hare Krishna mantra, and please repeat. And when I point to you, please be the leader. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We have microphones. Turn it on, please.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, back row. Turn it on. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Comes the new mantra. New mantra. Listen carefully. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Nitai Gora. Hari Bol. Okay. Everyone say Hari. H-A-R-I, Hari. Hari. Hari Hari. Hari Hari. Hari Hari. So Hari is a name for Krishna. And it means something really beautiful. It means one who takes away all our obstacles. Anybody here have any obstacles? Okay, if you didn't raise your hand, you don't get the benefit. Got to raise your hand fast. Okay, so Bol, everyone say Bol. Bol. Somebody answers the phone, they go, Bolo. Like, speak up. So, Bol means to say or to chant. So, now let's try the two together. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Hari Bol. Hari 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 Bol. Okay, so this is a shortcut for chanting Hare Krishna. You just say Hari Bol. It's also a universal password. So, if you go anywhere in the world where there's any kind of Hare Krishna from any branch whatsoever, all you have to do is knock on the door, and if you don't speak their language, when they open the door, you say, they'll say, come on in. Hari Bol, oftentimes we say as a mantra at the end of the chanting of Hare Krishna, and we also put an affix to it. It's a Nitai, say, Nitai. Gora. So we chanted this big long mantra at the beginning, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda. So Nitai and Gaur are part of that mantra, and these are two avatars who have descended from the spiritual world, Nitai, who's Nityananda, and Gaura, who refers to Lord Chaitanya. These are their nicknames. And so we say Nitai Gaur, say Nitai Gaur. This refers to these two avatars, and we get the benefit for saying their names. And what is the great benefit? They are the ones that come and teach what's called the Yuga Dharma. We're in a particular era right now, and it's called Kali Yuga. Everyone say Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga. So in Kali Yuga, you get a special discount. Do you like discounts? Yes. This is like the Black Friday of the universe. So in Kali Yuga, just by chanting Hare Krishna, you get self-realization, and you'll develop love for God. And Nitai and Gaur, say, are the ones who come and they teach the Hare Krishna mantra to everybody. And they divide up, they go to different parts of India, and they teach in their own ways how to do devotional service. And they have many followers who then become teachers, and those teachers teach others. And in this way, there's a big tree of teachers that continues even to this day, who have passed down not just the mantra itself, but also the process of devotional service and the way to follow it in your regular daily life so that you can attain perfection in spiritual life, even while living at home. So this is what they do, and you won't be saying something whimsical by saying Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. So let's try it. I'll say, and then please repeat. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Now I'll say the whole thing. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Now, if someone says Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol to you, what should you say back? There seems to be a little contention about this. I mean, technically we're saying, if we say Hari Bol, we're saying chant Hari, right? We're telling them to chant Hari. So let me test it out on Krishna Saka. Hari Bol. He said Hare Krishna, just for the record. Actually, you could say whatever you like, but if someone says Hari Bol to you, you can say Hari Bol back, but it's kind of like they said chant Hare Krishna and you said chant Hare Krishna back, which is okay. It's all transcendental. Or if they say Hari Bol and you say Hare Krishna, you're also not wrong. But you'll find this in many kirtans, this Hari Bol or Hari Bol. So you can try it out. Why don't you turn to somebody that you haven't met yet here, somebody you don't know yet, and just say Hari Bol and see what they say back. Go. Okay, how'd it go? Was it okay? All right, I want somebody who's new here, somebody you can accompany whoever's new here, go to the doorway in the kitchen and just say, the new person, just say to everyone in the kitchen, say Hari Bol, and then come back and report what they say. Can we have two volunteers? Okay, one, Arman. Who are you going to take who's new? Everyone knows you. Okay, you go, you know. Take her to the door of the kitchen, and when you just look in, just say Hari Bol. Okay, both of you go, all three. Say both of you in tandem Hari Bol, and then see what they say back, and just come back and report it. We'll see what happens. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught that anyone can have immediate access to the Supreme, to Krishna, just by doing this process that we just did called kirtan. And actually he called it Sankirtan, because Sam means together, and kirtan means, actually it comes from a root word which means to make somebody famous, kirti. Kirti means fame. So kirtan means to sing out somebody's name so it glorifies that person. So he called this Sankirtan. Please say Sankirtan. And if anybody ever asks you, what's your name, and you don't want to give your real name, you can say Sam Kirtan. Because for a girl, it could be Samantha, and for a guy, it's Sam. So what's your name anyway? We're going to write it down. Sam Kirtan. My name's Sam Kirtan. Okay, let's get the report back. Maybe they brought him into the kitchen to have him do service, right? What's happening in there? What? They're all... This is the Hare Krishna movement. It's just these simple mantras. Okay. Well, that just happened. So if you go anywhere and you just tell people Hari Bol, if they know a little bit about them, they'll get all happy and they'll be reminded of the Supreme. Okay, let's get the report. How did it go?
Everyone was blissful and said Hari Bol back.
It was quite exciting.
Yeah? What was it like for you?
Oh, same. I loved how excited they were that we came in and shouted Hari Bol, and they just stopped what they were doing and shouted it right back.
So this is the Hare Krishna movement.
Yeah.
So now if you want to try that in different places, you can experiment with it. Yesterday, we went out all over the Bay Area, and we went to people's houses. We knocked on the door. They opened and said, Hari Bol. And first, actually, yesterday, my day started. Some devotees took me out to a big mall in Little Saigon, which is not too far from here. It's on Story Road. One of my favorite places to go because I feel a connection with Vietnamese people. I've been there before. I helped to get the Bhagavad-gita printed there. And so when I go there to Story Road, to Little Saigon, I can meet people. And we just tell them about the Bhagavad-gita, and we tell them Hari Bol and what it means. And we ask them to chant Hare Krishna. And many people, they need a little help to chant the whole mantra, but they're very happy to do it. And oftentimes people in the store, they'll all come over to see what's happening. And they'll all get happy because life just goes on. It's the same thing every day, selling the same stuff. Hi, bye, good to see you. How much money do we have? How much money did we lose? But when you add Hari Bol, then everyone remembers Krishna and becomes happy. So there's two parts to the movement that we have here. One is chant Hare Krishna. The other is teach it to others. That's part two. Okay, part one is? Part two? Okay, teach others. First one? This is going to be on the quiz, so study this really well. Part two? Okay, now I'll put my hands up at part one, part two, and you follow, okay? Ready? Come on, keep up. Now, if we wake you up at 1:15 in the morning, that's too early for you, right? And we say, what's the Hare Krishna movement about? You'll say? That's all you have to do unless you get involved in management, and then you get a little in anxiety in life. But just stick to the simple thing. Chant Hare Krishna and teach others. If you put these two things together, what happens is you'll chant Hare Krishna and you'll start to feel a little blissful, and then you might think, well, is this real? Isn't this some mental concoction somebody made up? Why am I saying this mantra over and over again? You might think that. But then when you go teach it to others and you see the result, and you say to somebody, Hari Bol, and suddenly they become happy, and they chant the mantra and they feel bliss, you start to notice that actually this is a universal sound vibration that touches the very soul of people. We do this a lot downtown Palo Alto. It's a good place to go out and chant Hare Krishna. There's a place there called Lytton Plaza. And we've been there. How many times have we had Harinam or the Sankirtan in Lytton Plaza? We'd ask Shamalunga, but she's on the altar and she can't answer us right now. How many? 20 years at one a month. Somebody do the math. Engineers? 240 times? Okay, we've been there 400 times. Thanks. I like that other data. I don't know where it came from, but 400 sounds good to me. So 400 times, and we've gone out there many times, and we just chant Hare Krishna. And recently we've noticed that when we sit there and chant Hare Krishna, people are walking along the street, usually on a Friday, Saturday night. They're dressed up and they're looking to have some fun. Everybody wants to have fun, right? Yeah, living entities just want to have fun. And that's their nature. So when you chant Hare Krishna, then you have some music, and then a little food, and some nice people to talk to, and some bright lights and color. It's everything everyone wants. So we do that, and then people walk by, and I notice they have something else in mind, but they'll stop, they'll listen to the music, and then sometimes they start dancing. So this is another phase of the chanting. You can dance. So there's a particular dance that we can try. It's called the Swami. And there's a lot of different kinds of dances people do, but this one has a special way of opening the heart, and it's rhythmic. You can go to the music, and you can add a few embellishments onto it, but the basic Swami step is pretty good. You can use it everywhere you go. Would you like to learn it? Yes. Would it be precarious for you to stand up for a minute? You have to be a little careful because of all the purses and computers and mats on the floor. We already had one incident up here. You can move this a little bit. Okay, now stand with your feet right under your shoulders. And then, if you can see where my feet are now, I'm crossing my left foot over my right, like in front. Careful, don't tip over. Okay, now I'm putting it back where it was, under my shoulders, and then I go with my right foot, I cross it over my left. Okay, let's start from the first position, and we'll start with our left foot, which is 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. That's a full cycle. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Keep doing it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Again. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Now try putting your hands up when you sing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hands down and clap. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. This side clap, this side hands up. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Switch. Good clapping. Good singing. Okay, get ready. New mantra. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo. Everyone, hands up. Okay, everyone clap. Again. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo. Everyone. This is the best group I've ever seen. The dancing, the gracefulness, the clapping, this is the best ever. So now you're all deputized. You can go out and start the Hare Krishna movement, right? Okay, let's test you before we send you out into the world. 1 is? 2? The Swami step. Let's see if you can pass. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Okay, now the intellectual part. You should just work hard and forget about spiritual life. True or false? False. Okay, you should try to come to the point in life that you're the soul and not the body. True. Okay, you passed. You're all deputized. You can spread the Hare Krishna movement wherever you go. Now, we're going to try chanting Hare Krishna to another tune and see how you like that. Okay? Everyone please move up by 7.2 inches. Tune suggestions? The same one? Which one? Oh, okay. Okay. Since I've been a little lighthearted through the lecture today, we're going to go to a kind of melancholy tune, which just brings us back to feeling more centered, very serious. There are occasions in life where we feel very heavy-hearted. There are people around the world suffering. It's a serious thing we're in here. And this song brings us to this feeling in our heart that please let me be a servant of Krishna, and please let me feel for others. Let me have empathy in my heart for all others in the world who are going through the same kind of troubles that I am. We're all embodied and we all go through troubles. So this is a deep tune that our founder Acharya used to sing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, everyone. That was beautiful. Now we're going to move all the asanas. We'll roll up this carpet. Asanas go in the back under the picture of the Panchatattva. We'll all stand up here. And then if you'd like to try out your newly acquired, if it is, Swami step, please feel free to do so. It's a very authorized way, respectful way, beautiful way to dance before the deities. You can try it. And later on you can add embellishments, but just try doing the simple Swami step for now. Thank you very much, everybody. After the kirtan, we'll have a couple of short announcements. Right? Oh, what else? Announcements. We have a few awards to give out for those who have excelled in academic excellence here in the community. Diplomas, if you will. And then after that, we invite you to call all your friends, bring them down here. We're going to feed everybody in the Bay Area, everyone in Silicon Valley. We have enough for everyone, so call them in, 10 at a time, bring everyone. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, yeah. That's all right. Just Meg Brog. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Sri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Sri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Everyone, please. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare
Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. More cowbell. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shankaracharya Astotara Satashi Shishimat His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parirajacharya Astotara Satashi Shishimat Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mathura Dham Ki Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Tulsi Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Samaveta Bhaktavinda Ki Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga.
Please everyone have a seat. We will have a Narsimha Arti. So today's Narsingha prayers we would like to dedicate to Govind Varshane Prabhu's brother-in-law. We came to know that he recently left his body. So we request all the devotees to pray for his protection and safe passage. Thank you for considering the request. Yeah. So please squeeze in as much as you can. So we have a few devotees are still coming in. So thank you.
Hare Krishna. Namaste Narashaya. Namaste Hare Krishna. Could we request everybody to actually scoot back a couple inches? Hare Krishna. Welcome to ISKCON of Silicon Valley. We have several announcements this afternoon, followed by a very special ceremony of awards being given to a couple of devotees, so hang in there. Right after this will be Prashadam. First, we have a huge thank you to His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu for giving the class today as well as leading the kirtan. The kirtan was carried along by the wonderful youth here, and the Nishinga prayers was sang by a Gita Priya. Are there any newcomers here today for the first time? You don't have to stand up or anything, just raise your hand. We want to welcome you. Let's chant a Hare Krishna mantra together for all our newcomers. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We really appreciate and enjoy your presence here. If there's anything we can do to help you, please reach out to myself, Shri Gopal Prabhu here, or anyone else in the community, and we'll do anything to make your stay here more comfortable. Thank you, and we hope to see you again next time. So we have several sponsors as well for today's program, 3 sponsors. When we call your name, please feel free to come up, say a few words about why you're sponsoring, and request the blessings of the devotees. So first is Katha Mataji, who is sponsoring for her son, Jagannath's 2nd birthday. Jagannath. Say hi.
Hare Krishna. I would like to thank everyone for giving us opportunity to serve here and giving your association. I would like especially to thank Vaisesika Prabhu for engaging all of us in service. I would like to seek your prayers and blessings for Jagannath so that he can serve the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. We have our next sponsor, Purnima and Shay. Are they here? Purnima and Shay? Oh, welcome. They are sponsoring very kindly for everyone as they have recently moved here, I believe, and they would like to sponsor for the entire community.
Hare Krishna. We've just moved over from Ireland, Dublin. So this is our third time with this wonderful set of devotees. So we definitely wanted to be of service to these amazing devotees here. So Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your sponsorship, and we hope to see you more often. Thank you. Our next sponsor is Manoj Manna, who is making a surprise. Manoj Manna, who is making a special surprise sponsorship for his friend Deepesh Rai, who is going to be married in India soon, and the sponsorship for his safe journey and a successful marriage. So, Manoj and Deepesh, are you here?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh, please come up.
It was a surprise for me because I was not married. Thank you everyone especially the devotee community. They are so wonderful, and I am so fortunate to be in association of and attending all the Sundays program.
That concludes our sponsorships for this Sunday. Now to the exciting events of next weekend. We have Thanksgiving coming up. It's a time of giving. It's a season where people are out buying gifts. But we as a community go out together and give the gift of spiritual knowledge on the Black Friday weekend. It's such a beautiful event where the entire community is together. We're distributing very well-packed books as well as Prashadam for everyone in San Francisco. And so we have our Sankirtan leader, Malini Mataji, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the event, how you can participate, and share some really important information.
Hare Krishna. So it's the day after Thanksgiving. That's on Friday, 11 a.m. How many of you are already planning to go? Okay, I see so many not going. So, how many would like to go? Oh, okay. So, just so that we can entice you a little bit, we want to tell you there is going to be a wonderful prasadam, and not just for you, but also for you to distribute it to everybody. And you know what the prasadam is? Any guesses? Okay. I hear brownies, I hear khichdi, I hear cookies, I hear soup, halwa, cornbread, pasta, dosas. So Narasimhananda Brahmachari was able to offer everything in meditation to Lord Chaitanya. So we can also do the same. We can offer in meditation. But we also have something tangible to give out. Hansapriya, who leads this effort every year, she cooks for like almost 500-600 people. And she makes hot chili, Mexican chili, is soup, which is really, really good. And she makes cornbread, And she usually makes brownies or cookies, one of those, and much more. I'm just only giving you the part of the menu. But this is for you to have at the same time. This is the time of giving, so we can distribute this prasadam to everybody in San Francisco on Market and Powell Street. So if you're interested in giving out prasadam, or we have 2,000 Bhagavad-gitas packed, ready to go. Our packing team, headed by Venudhari Prabhu, has already packed those 2,000 Bhagavad-gitas. And this day, we are not expecting anything in return, which means we will give out freely to everybody. If somebody wants to offer a donation, we don't hesitate to take it, but we don't have any restrictions. That this is one day in the year where we have no restrictions. So please come, join us. It's at 11:59 a.m. and it's very hard to park. So, 10:59 a.m. Thank you, Prabhu. It's 10:59 a.m. and it's very difficult to park there. So you can just take a BART. It's a very nice ride. And devotees usually take Fremont Station or Dublin Station or different stations. They come together at a certain time, and we chant all the way till the Harinam spot. So it's really fun. We can coordinate and do all those fun activities. Bring your children, and you can attend the Harinam. You can give out the books. You can accept prasadam, and you can also give prasadam. So it's a very nice event. So please do attend. It's coming Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, at Market and Powell. Instructions were already sent in the email, and if you need more instructions, please reach out to me, Shri Gopal Prabhu there, or Priya Kishori here. So is everybody going then? Who else is going then? Okay, so see you all on Friday, for day after Thanksgiving. And for those who want to distribute ahead of time, who want to distribute Bhagavad-gitas ahead of time, we have boxes of Bhagavad-gitas available for you. It's packed in a very nice gift. Bhagavad-gita, Science of Self-Realization and Higher Taste. And you can take it and give it as holiday gifts for your friends, family, or anybody else, or your colleagues. They're outside at the book table, if you like. You can take one case, which is 12 Bhagavad-gitas, like gift packs available. It's at the book table outside, and we will help you if anybody would like to take. And you can distribute it to all your friends and colleagues there. Any other questions for me? So just so that you know how it was for previous year, we can just show you a preview of how the day after Thanksgiving Harinam looks like. And this was after COVID, so everybody was masked up. But this time, hopefully, we don't have to.
Dale County, Alameda County, to come join us to chant Hare Krishna and take sumptuous food with us. Thank you for joining the Hare Krishna Festival. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your kind attention. Hare Krishna.
To make this event possible, Hansapriya Mataji is currently making about 5,000 cookies, I believe it is, in our kitchen. So if anybody is interested to help her today, after Prashadam, please feel free to head to the kitchen, and she would love to have your help. Now, speaking of Prashadam, we have a long list of cooks who have... Hare Krishna. Today's Prashadam is cooked by Siddha Katha Prabhu, Savarna Gopika Mataji, Sindhu Khani Mataji, Hema Mataji, Sudevi Mataji, Shankar Prabhu, Pragya Mataji, Sumati Mataji, Ramuna, and we had a cleaning team which cleaned 3 sinks of pots. Suyash Prabhu, Tadiya Seva Prabhu, and Kent Prabhu.
If anybody is interested in helping further cleaning of the temple room or the kitchen, please feel free to reach out to myself or Shri Gopal Prabhu, and we'd be glad to help you. And thank you, Charanimai Prabhu, for bringing us today's online broadcast. Our final program is a quick award ceremony that is going to take place, and I will let Sundar Prabhu share with you the significance.
Hare Krishna. So this is a course completion certificate ceremony. So the course is Gita in a nutshell. Previously it was called Discover Yourself. It's an 8-session course which covers all the fundamental concepts of the Bhagavad-gita and many topics like who am I, and why do bad things happen to good people, and is there life after death, what is affecting my mood, how can I control my mind. So all these different topics are covered in this course. And of course, one of the reasons we do this course is so that we can give a simplified and overall view of the Bhagavad-gita so that people can appreciate it and want to read the Bhagavad-gita and go deeper into that. So this is the reason we have done this course. So there were 2 courses that we started a few months ago. So one course was in San Jose, and the course got completed this Thursday, and it was led by Achyuta Chaitanya Prabhu. So thanks to Achyuta Chaitanya Prabhu for leading this course. So many hours of giving the presentation, preparing for it, answering the question and answers, and cooking and cleaning. And so thanks to the whole family for hosting and giving this presentation and completing this course. And also the second course is underway. It's still not yet completed, which is in Fremont. It's conducted by Srivas Chandra Prabhu. And we also, like to thank all the attendees who have come here, who have, given their time and invested their time in learning these concepts from the Bhagavad-gita. We really appreciate that. And of course, as Vaisesika Prabhu always says, this is the best investment where you get the maximum returns. And it's never lost. So with that, I would like to also invite Vaisesika Prabhu to say a few words. This is the first step in the journey, and of course it's a commendable step, and we invite you to our family. Prabhu would like to also share a few words.
You may have noticed that in the book called Brahma Samhita, there's a rendering of the image of Brahma, the first created being in the universe. If you look carefully at that picture, you'll notice something anachronistic, and that is that he's holding a book in his hand. The picture was apparently taken on an iPhone 13. It's rendered that way because our sampradaya is actually called the sampradaya of the book, meaning that the intention of Krishna and then Brahma and all the acharyas has, Madhva, Vyas, coming all the way down to the present day, is to disseminate knowledge that helps us to rise above the modalities of the material world and come back into our original position as spiritual beings, unfettered and fully engaged in loving service to our divine source. So, Sundarananda Prabhu and his team have been carrying on this tradition here for many years, painstakingly taking people through these courses that bring the student up to speed in the basic philosophy of Krishna consciousness, and not just theoretically, but in a way that they can apply it in their personal lives, as he and his family do. So we're deeply grateful to Sundarananda Prabhu and your whole team, and to all the participants who took the trouble to get these diplomas, which we will distribute to you forthwith. Hare Krishna.
So I'll announce the names. And just quickly, it was a 8-session course, and every session was covering one topic. So since all the Vaishnavas are assembled here, we humbly request you to please bless all the participants that they can progress in their spiritual journey and also continue to read Bhagavad-gita and hear about the teachings of Bhagavad-gita. Thank you. So we'll quickly announce the names now. Jai Prabhu. Jai.
That's it? That's all he gets? Little pitter patter?
Ruchi.
Way to go, Jay. Well done. Prabhu? Jay? And that's not all. Hare Krishna.
Dinky.
Congratulations. Good job.
Arjit.
Well done.
Vaibhav.
Excellent. Good job.
Vishak. Vishak, and then Tapan. Shashank.
There you go, Katha. Krishna. Hare Krishna.
After that, Ramesh. Ramesh is not here, so his wife. Actually, when we were having sessions, she was taking kids' classes because someone has to be handled with care. So the kids, she was taking the kids' classes that time. Soham. Shakila.
Good job. Congratulations.
Naga VSK Yeginna. Then we have Namra. Bhargavi. Okay, you can take the. So, his wife is traveling, so he can take on his. Maria. Maria here. Kuvar. Kuvar couldn't come, so. Venkat. Tapomay. And then Sandhya. Sandhya. Yeah. Then Ramesh ES. Then we have Bhavani Shankar. Bhavani Shankar. Okay. Smita ER. Smita Mataji. And then Sharmila. Some of them couldn't come. So when we'll have Fremont, that time we can distribute the rest of them. Thank you again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And now, back to our regularly scheduled program.
So now we'll have Prashadam prayers. After that, Prashadam will be served in the parking lot. So feel free to take a plate, and you can also be seated in the temple room. Thank you. Haribol.
Madhuri Saki, tell what these prayers are really quick. 59 seconds. Explain it.
So we recite these prayers before we take honor prashadam, or in other words, food, which is offered to the Lord. These prayers allow us to understand the importance of offering prashadam and honoring the remnants of the Lord, and it allows us to develop better consciousness and live a better life.
It's in Bengali. How many here know Bengali? Any Bengalis in the house? We need a Bengali. 1, 2, okay. It's in Bengali. Let's do the best we can. They'll try to lead us. Give the Bengalis a microphone over there. Please, microphone to the Bengali group in the back. Okay, give us the authentic pronunciation of this verse. Sing it.
Sharira vidyaja jadendriya tahe kar jive fele vishaya sagore karmatme jiprayati loho maisudunati Krishna Varadayama Purivare Jivajay Dasa Annadilobha Seyanamita Radha Krishna Gunamha Premera ko Chaitanya-nita Premera ko Chaitanya-nita Mahatma-de Govinde Namu-brahmani Vaishnave Sarva-punya-vatangaram Sikha-tunay-jagayate Dukharam Hari-raslo-parayate Asana-me-asi-asi-rupi-nyaya-yavadishya Sayo-pa-bhukta-sakata Tato-ganga-sakita Uchi-samadi-mangata-samavande-hari
Bhagavad-gita Mahaprasada ki Gaur Premanande Nitai Gaur Haribo 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo. Please come take Prashadam. Prashadam will be served just outside. We'll make space in here so you can come in here and be warm and comfortable. Please take to your full satisfaction and call all your friends. Tell them to get down here as quick as possible. Thank you, everybody.